Audible or not? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so where we stopped in the last session, we discussed about inheritance, right? Can anyone tell me why we go for inheritance? Where exactly we used? In which case we required inheritance? Jupyter notebook. When you required inheritance, what is inheritance? Okay, very simple. I have a class is there. If you want some properties is nothing but either variables or methods from another class. That is possible through inheritance or not. Okay, simply you can say like inherit the members from one class to another class. If you want to inherit the members from one class to another class, then you can go with the inheritance or not. Why you can go with the inheritance? For example, I have some properties. Okay, n1 equals to 10 is there, n2 equals to 20 is there. These two variables I required for class A and class B and class C like this. Two ways you can do it. One is like you can declare those variables like this in each and every class. Possibility there or not there. Class contains variables and methods. So you can declare the variables here also. You can declare the variables here also like this. Yes or no? For example, like this, I have 100 classes we have. These 100 classes requires n1 value, n2 value. So each and every class we can write it, no problem at all. Yes, 100% valid. Tomorrow, if you want to do the change, n1 value to 100, n2 value to 200, then how many places that change is required? Each and every class you have to do the change or not. My requirement something like that. I want to use n1 n2 values, same values across all the classes. So here also, here also, here also you have to use all the classes or not. Yes or no? That means you have to use these variables in all classes or not. Is it the recommended approach? Is it the recommended approach or not? Tell me. Come on, I want n1 n2 variables in 100 classes. Think like that. You can write n1 n2 in each and every class, 100% valid. Why? Because class is a collection of variables and methods. Class is a collection of variables and methods. Now this approach is like valid or invalid, recommended or not recommended? This approach is recommended or not recommended? Not recommended. Why? Because the code reusability not happened here. You written the duplicate code here, n1 variable, here also n2 variable, here n1 variable, here also n2 variable. You written like a duplicate code or not? And one more thing, n1 value tomorrow if you want to do the change in multiple places, you have to do the change or not? Here you have to do the change, here. How many classes are using this n1 variable you have to change in each and every place or not? So if you said like this is not the recommended approach, tell me the recommended approach. Can you do one thing? Very simple. Okay, I have one more class is there, something like this. I have one more class is there, something like this. If this class contains these two variables, can I inherit those two variables in each and every class? Yes or no? Tell me. Okay, now these variables required or not required? The variables are required or not required? Class level, these variables are required or not required? Not required. Why? These variables are coming from which class now? These variables are coming from X class or not? Now tell me, how many times you written the code? N1 variable, N2 variable, how many times you declared?
One time.
Only one time you declared or not? Okay. Tomorrow, if you want to do the change, how many places that change is required? Tomorrow, if you want to do the change, how many places that change is required?
Only one place.
Only one place is enough or not? So which one is recommended one? Which one is recommended one? Either variable or either a method. If you want to use in multiple places, if you want to use in multiple places means in multiple classes, don't define a variable or don't define a class in each and every place. It's not a recommended one. Keep the shareable variables or a methods in another class. Inherit that particular class into your class or not? Agreed? All are okay? Why we go for inheritance? Okay, code reusability we can achieve by using the inheritance or not. Okay, how many types of inheritance? How many ways we can handle inheritance in Python? There has single inheritance, there has multi-level inheritance, there has multiple inheritance or not. Can anyone tell me single inheritance? The class which is inherited from one superclass. The class which is inherited from one superclass. Arithmetic is there. This class is inherited from which class? This class is inherited from which class? A. So terminology wise, arithmetic ARTH class, we can say like a terminology wise, child class, subclass, derived class. Okay, here A, we can say terminology wise, parent class or superclass or base class. A class which is inherited from one superclass. A class which is inherited from one superclass. Okay, that kind of inheritance, what we can say, single inheritance or not. Here only one subclass, only one superclass. Okay, na? Now if you come here, okay, multi-level inheritance. Tell me the class which is inherited from another children class. The class which is derived from another derived class. The child class which is inherited from another child class. That kind of inheritance you can say like a multi-level inheritance or not. That kind of inheritance we can say like what? Multi-level inheritance or not. Only one subclass, one superclass, single. There has one derived class is there, that is derived from another class, that is also derived class only. See here, C derived from B, my B also derived from where? A. So my C is derived from another derived class or not. That kind of inheritance, what we can say, multi-level inheritance or not. Yes or no? What is multiple inheritance? The class which is inherited from more than one superclass or not. The class which is inherited from more than one superclass. That kind of inheritance, what we can say, multiple inheritance or not. Understood, everyone? Now tell me, if my C is inherited from B and A, okay, first it is looking for C and then looking for which class? The members. It is looking for the members in which class? B class or not. Next, it is looking for the members inside the A class or not. So that order, if you want to know, Okay, here, why it gives me an error? Maybe. First, I'm looking for M1 in the C class, not there. And then it is looking for the member B class, not there. And then it is looking for the member A class. If it is not there, you can get the error attribute M1 is not defined. The attribute M1 is not defined, but now it is there, so that it gives me an output like this. Now, if I write C dot MRO, if I write like this, if I click on this one, now see, MRO stands for method resolution order. Method resolution order means, okay, it is looking for the method in which order to call or to resolve. First, it is looking for the method where? Come on. If you create an object for the C, if you call any member with the C object, the method resolution order is order is like this. First, you are calling M1 with which class object? You are calling M1 with which class object? Come on, C class object or not? So from C, I want to see the method resolution order. First, looking for the member inside which class? C class. And then it is looking for the member inside which class? B class. And then it is looking for the member inside which class? A class or not? Okay, for example, if I change something like this, now the method resolution order is like changed or not? Now, if you come here, now see this, first it is looking for the member, and then it is looking for what? The member inside where? Inside A. Why? Because my A is like a first superclass, and then B, the last one is leave it, it's like a class object. This is MRO. If you want to see the order, the method resolution order, okay, the member resolution order, okay, it's not specific to method. You can say member resolution order. If you want to see, then you can go with what? Then you can go with what? This method or not. You can call this method using the class name. All are agreed? This is the default method. This is the default method. Okay, predefined method, you can say. Okay, so for good. Anyone have any questions?
What is object in the array?
Which one? This is the class object. Okay, this class object. This is the class object. Okay, up to here only you can consider. Okay, by default it is gives like what? Okay, the class, you create an object for that particular class, right? That object it's going to give. This one is nothing but this particular C class object, you can say, what you created. Okay. Any other questions, anyone? Shall we move? Up here, okay or not? Now I have a class is there. Okay, you only answer it. I have one method like this. Okay, self I'm going to remove. We'll see what happened. This is what? The name is like underscore, underscore, init, underscore, underscore. The name is what? In the class, if you write like this, it is a constructor, right? So can I write like a constructor? Yes. Now I have a one more class. Okay, if I write the syntax like this, what it means? What it means? My A class inherited from, okay, my B class, sorry, my B class inherited from where? A class or not? So this is which kind of inheritance? One parent class, one children class. This is which kind of inheritance? It is a single inheritance or not? Single inheritance. Now syntactically, if I run this one, there is no error, nothing. Okay, I have one class, another class. My class inherited from A class. That's it. B is inherited from A. There is no problem at all. Now, if I create an object for this, obj equals to B, what is my error? What is my error? Come on, think.
Missing one positional argument.
Missing one positional parameter, right? Okay, one is like supplied, one is like given, but you not taken that one or not. Which one given? Whenever you create an object for the class in Python, okay, the constructor is going to execute by passing what? Your object as a parameter or not. So that is, it gives me an error. Okay, now what you have to place? You have to hold it, right? You have to hold it or not. Now, can I click on this? Now tell me what is the output? Now tell me what is the output? Now,
B constructor.
now if I run this one, now my B constructor is like executed or not? My B constructor is executed. Now you come here. If I refresh, okay, my B constructor is like executed. Now here something is missing, right? Can I use like a self? Okay, in general, my constructor, whenever object created, then it is called by passing what? My current object as a parameter or not? That one I know. Now, if I run this one, is my A constructor is executed or not executed? Come on, whenever you create an object for the children class, my parent class constructor executed or not executed? See this, class A, def, underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. For example, if you write like this, first you can confirm. If you create an object for which class? A class, A constructor is executed. But if you come and create an object for the B class, is my A class constructor executed or not executed? But in Java, Whenever you create an object for the children class, the parent class construct is going to execute. But in Python, if you observe here, whenever you create an object for what? You create an object for which class? B. B is what? Parent or children? B is what? Parent or children? Children. B is a children, right? A is a parent. B inherited from which class? A class, right? B is inherited from which class? A class or
Yeah.
not? Yes or no? Whenever you create an object for the children class, is my parent class executed or not executed? My parent class executed or not executed? Not
No.
executed. Why? Because simple reason. You create an object. Okay, you are looking for which object? You are looking for which object? You are creating an object for which class? B. Okay, in the B, constructor there or not there? Constructor there or not there? Init method there or not there?
There.
There. If it is there, is it go to the parent or not go to the parent?
Will not go to the parent.
Not go to the parent, right? Okay, you said like not go to the parent. Now I'm going to write some code like this. Okay, now this is my F1 method. This is my F1 method. Can I execute this? Okay, now if I create an object for B class, obj equals to B, what is my answer? What is my answer?
F1.
What is my answer? F1. Why F1? Why F1? F1 is like a constructor. F1 is like a normal method, right? If you want to call the normal method, you have to call by using what? An object, right? Am I use anywhere like this, the syntax? Am I use anywhere like this, the syntax? Tell me. Okay, now A constructor, why executed? Now very simple reason. You create an object for which class? Line number 20.
B.
B class. In the B class constructor, there or not there? Constructor means underscore init. There or not there?
Not there.
Not there. Whenever it is not there, as per method resolution order, it is go to which class?
A class.
Parent class. In the parent class, underscore init, there or not there? Come on, there or not there? Yes, there. So that method got executed or not. First, it is going to check in the own class. If it is not there, it is go to the parent. There also not there. It is go to the next order. Like this, it is moving or not in the hierarchy base. Yes, no. Okay, here what happened? You create an object for which class? Line number 18. B class. Whenever you create an object for the class, which method is going to execute? Underscore init underscore. That is there or not there in my B class? That is there or not there in my B class? There. Whenever it is there, is it go to the next level class or it is going to execute this one only? It is not go to the next level. It is going to execute this one only or not. So that my output is like what? My output is like what? B constructor. But here it is not there. That's the reason it is go to the parent. In the parent, we have underscore init. So that my A constructor executed or not. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Now what happened?
F1.
Think and tell. Now what happened?
F1.
F1. Huh? If I execute this line, is there any output is going to print or not print anything?
Not print anything.
Not print anything, right? You created an object. You are not calling F1 with that object, right? Just you create an object. Whenever you create an object, F1 called. Whenever you create an object, F1 called, underscore init called. Underscore init called. So that it is looking for underscore init in which class? B. Not there. If it is not there, go to which class? A. There or not there? Not there. That's okay. Here also not there, here also not there. Nothing is going to print. Okay. Now, if I call like this, what's my answer? If I call like this, what's my answer?
F1.
F1, right? Okay, F1, right? Okay, why? Because F1 is there in the B. As per method resolution order, first it is looking inside the B. If it is not there, then only it is go to A or not. Okay, now if I run this one, what's my answer?
F1 in A.
F1 in A, it is going to execute or not. Okay, if I write like this, what's my answer? Exact error message, tell me. Exact error message. What do you think more? First, obj.f2. Obj is
F2.
what? Object of B class. First, it is looking for what? F2. Okay, F2 there or not there? Yes, there. So that it gives me, what is the output? It gives
F2.
me F2 only. For example, if I write like F3, okay, exact error message, tell me. If I write like F3, exact error message. Come on, exact error message. Huh? The attribute F3 is not available, right? The object has no attribute F3 or not. Yes or no? Okay. Okay, then. Next, my question is, I have a class. Inside this class, one method is there. This is this. This is what? Print a constructor. Okay. Now I have one more class is there, B. One more class is there, B. Okay. My B also, I have one method. Done. B also having one method. Now I create an object for the B class, everyone knows. Okay, my output is what? My output is what? If I create an object for the B class, everyone knows my output is like what? Obj equals to B. It's like a B constructor or not? Yes, everyone knows this one, right? Okay, now my question is, whenever you create an object for the children class, as like Java, the parent class constructor by default not executed. But my question is, can you call, whenever you create an object for the children class, can you call the parent class constructor? My requirement is you should have to get to A constructor as well as B constructor. Output should be A constructor and B constructor both. If you want to get the output is like A constructor and B constructor, what you have to do? At the time of creating an object, my output only B constructor now. But my requirement is what? A constructor and the second line B constructor I want. A constructor and the second line B constructor I want. Tell me how. Hmm? Tell me how. Hmm? So, can anyone tell me the question at least? What we are going to learn? The next topic. If it is only the requirement, what you should learn? Come on. How to? Tell me. How to call what? How to call my parent class constructor from my child class constructor or not? Okay, why I said like a child class constructor only? My requirement, whenever I create an object, child class constructor only executed. So from here only you have to call what? Parent class constructor, then only, right? My A constructor and B constructor both are going to print. So my requirement is, okay, my question is how to call a parent class constructor from my child class. From my child class. Okay, then. Now my straight question you have to tell. I have a class. Okay, see, I have a class. Def F1. Okay, this is which kind of method inside the class? This is which kind of method? Instanza statica class. This is which kind of method inside the class? Inside a class, my F1 is which kind of method? Come on, what do you think more? There has three types of methods are there, three types of variables are there. One is like static variable, instance variable, local variable. Methods are like static methods, instance methods, and static, instance, and class methods. My question is, F1 is, okay, come under which category? Instance, static, class? Okay, if it is like instance, okay, it is looks like this. If it is like a static, we have a decorator is what? Static method. If it is like a class, we have a decorator is what? Class method or not. If this decorator is not there, that is which kind of method? Simply you can say
Instance.
instance method or not. Instance methods, how many ways we can call it?
Class and
By using an object, yeah, right. By using a class name also or not. By using an object as well as by using a class name also we can call it or not. Yes or no? By using class name also we can call it or not. How we can call a dot f1 of 10, for example? Yes, it is like 100% valid. 100% valid. Okay, what happened here? Class A indentation is missing, right? It is like 100% valid or not? Nothing is there. That's okay. If I write like a print, okay, now my output is like yes. By using class name we can call it, or another one is like what? Another one is like what? You can create an object. By using an object also we can call it or not. Both will work out. Now my question is, this particular one, how it looks like? This is also one method only. Name is like constructor. This particular method looks like instance or static class. This is constructor, that is secondary, leave it. First of all, this is the method. After that we can say like a constructor. This method come under which section? Instance, static, class?
instance.
Instant.
Instance method or not? It is like a instance method. So instance methods, how many ways we can call?
Class and object.
One is like by using an object, another one is like by using a class. Now tell me, if you want to call this one, first of all object is required, but object is there or not there here? If you want to call a method, okay, inside the A class, which object is required? A class object is required. But here I don't have A class object. But here I don't have A class object. If you don't have A class object, that's okay, fine. Okay, if you don't have A class object, that's okay, fine. But if you don't have an object, another way also there, na, to call that constructor. What is that another way? What is that another way? By using a class name also we can call it or not? Okay, how we can call? Okay, underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Okay, just you can pass like a self, any variable you can pass it. Okay, but I want to execute this statement. Now if you come here, if I execute this one, now my answer should be like what? First you create an object for the B class. So in the B class constructor executed. From this particular B class constructor, you called what? You called what? A
Equals to-
class instance method or not? A class instance method or not? So whenever you call the A class instance method, print A constructor executed. After that, which line is there? B constructor executed or not? Yes or no? Okay, as like a instance variable, you can call by using a object or by using a class name. But I don't want like this. Is there any other way is there to call my super class constructor? Yes, there has one more way also there. What is that one? You know, if you want to represent the super class, we have a predefined method is there, super. We have a predefined method is there, that is like what? Super. Okay, now this one is represent super class. In the super class, which method you want me to call? Which method you want me to call? Underscore underscore init. No need to pass the super class constructor. Okay, he is going to call by passing what? By passing your super class object here. Now can you come here? Okay, print, okay, self. Here also print self. Now can I create an object for this particular B class? Obj equals to B. Can anyone tell me? Okay, what it is going to print? Now, first of all, is it like valid or invalid? First of all, is it like valid or invalid? You have to pass your super class constructor. Now see this super underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Okay, my B constructor and B object is executed. My swapper means this constructor has to be executed, right? First of all, this swapper, okay, can we print it what it is going to give? This is another way. Okay, swapper, let me print it. Now come here. Okay, let me create an object. Now the swapper is what?
But class B, we are not passing the class here, right? B of A.
Right, you're right, right. Okay, here also did you pass or not pass? You're also wrong only, right? Okay, directly you called, that's okay. Okay, here you have to pass it or not, then only, right? Swapper will work. Okay, now can we come from here? Why? Because if you not also A directly class is there, so you are able to call it. Okay, here there is no change at all. Now can you come here? Now it is okay or not? You have a class name directly, you can use it, no problem at all. But here swapper you are using means swapper class should be there or not? Who is the swapper class now? For my B, okay, swapper is pointing to what now? A or not? For my B, who is the swapper class or parent class? A is the swapper class or not? Now if I execute this particular statement, now the A constructor, and then the next one is what? And then the next one is what? My B constructor got executed or not? Yes or no? Got my point? Okay, here the object is like a swapper. Why my swapper is like A only? If you inherit the members, all the members of my A come to which class? Whenever you return the inheritance, whatever the parent has by default available to whom? By default available to whom? Whatever the parent has, okay, that is inherited into which class? Inherited into which class? Children class or not? Children class or not? Here which one is the children class? B. So by using B object we can access what? Your parent class members as well as your child class members also or not? Yes or no? Agreed with me? Got my point? Okay, here whenever you call super init underscore underscore something like this, then that time it is going to call what? Your super class specific constructor, and as usual my print B, my B class constructor also executed or not. Now here there has n1 is there, n1 equals to 10. Okay, here also there has n1 equals to 100 is there. Now in my children class also the method, okay, the variable is like n1. In my parent class also the variable is like what? n1 is there. Now obj dot n1, what is my answer? Everyone knows that is like a 100 or 10. Come on, obj dot n1. First it is looking for, it's a kind of overriding, right? Now can I write okay, another statement? If I remove this one, okay, that point we not discussed, right? Okay, separately we can discuss. First you can get some clarity here. Okay, after that we can create one more class with variables. Okay, now come here. First of all, get the clarity here. You have a class, you have a constructor, you have a B class, and you have a constructor. Now here print swapper. Okay, you thought like, okay, swapper means parent. Okay, parent is nothing but A, it is like a object. But here the thing is, my swapper is like gives me which object created? Object created for which class? B. So object is available for the B class only. Okay, now my swapper is pointing to which object? Means B class object only. Why? Because by using B class object we can call or we can access A class members as well as we can access what? B class members also or not. Internally my swapper is pointing to what? Okay, B class object only. But specific swapper class members if you want, okay, then that time swapper, okay, my B object only, it is pointing to parent class members. My object contains, my object is B only. Now if you write like this, my class is like A. Here you have a one method called as a f1 is there. Okay, here I have one more method is there, F2 is there. Now class B is there. Here also I have F1 and here also I have F2. Now tell me total how many members? Total how many members? A class 2 members and B class also 2 members. My A class members inherited into B. Okay, now if I create an object for this particular one, obj equals to, come on, obj equals to B class. If I write obj.f1, which method is going to execute? Which method is going to execute? Come on, B class F1 method is going to execute or not? Yes or no? B class F1 method is going to execute. Now my question is, if you want to execute A class F1, then that time my B class object maintaining super class members as well as child class members also. But it is looking for first where? In the children class. If it is not there, then only it is go to the parent class. But if you want to go to directly parent class, first super. Okay, all the members were inside the B class only. These two and this two. Total 4 members are there in the B class. You create an object for which class? B class object only. Super, whenever you return, it is pointing to B class, but B class which members? Own members are super class members are. B class which members? Own members or super class members? Super class members. Now if I write like this, then the time it is going to execute what? My super class F1 method is going to execute or not. Here also same story. Now I create an object for which class? B class. Okay, so whatever my A has by default available to my B. So total B class has how many members? Own member 1 and inherited member 1. Okay, 2 members are there. Whenever you create an object, by default which method is going to execute? Underscore underscore init, that is the constructor is going to execute. Okay, first it is looking for the constructor. If it is there, then the time it is going to execute. So my output is like what? If the statement is not there, my output is like what? My output is like a B constructor. That's it. Okay, now if I write like this, my super call is pointing to pointing to what? Don't think like it is like a super class object. Okay, it is like which class object created? B class object only or not? You create an object for which class? B only, but maintaining what? Own members as well as it is maintaining what? Come on, it is maintaining own members as well as inherited members also or not? It is maintaining own members as well as inherited members or not? So whenever you call super of underscore underscore init, the B class, okay, it is pointing to parent class members. B class object only pointing to parent class member. Okay, which method is going to call from the parent? Underscore underscore init or not? So my object is like same, but it is pointing to super class members. Understood? Okay, here self, can I write super and self? Okay, now can I execute? Can I write this one? Can I write this one? Okay, now see here. Okay, here also it is also B class and here also B class, but this self is pointing to what? My own members, and my super is pointing to my parent class members or not. Understood? Everyone agreed? Come on. All are okay? Okay, here don't get confused. Super is nothing but parent class object. This is only the proof, right? Super is nothing but my own class object only, but it's pointing to super class members. Okay, why? Because through inheritance, all my super class members inherited into which class? All my super class members inherited into which class? All my A class members inherited into which class? B class only, right? Understood? Okay, usually whenever you call super, we think like what? A object or not? Class A object or not? But here we not create an object for the A class. It is pointing to B only, but it is pointing to super class members. My object is B only, but it's pointing to parent class members or not. Agreed? All are okay? Up to okay, everyone? So how many ways we can call? How many ways we can call a superclass constructor from the child class? How many ways we can call? Anyone?
Two ways.
We can call like two ways. First one is what? First one is like using a class as an instance method, you can call it. Using a class as an instance method, you can call it. Okay, but the second one is what? By using super, you can call it or not. Okay, these are the two ways you can tell. Okay, here if I remove this self, what happened? Can anyone guess? If I remove this self, what happened? If I remove this self, if I remove this self, what happened? Will it work or not work? Will it work or not work? Come on, what happened? You called as a instance method using a class name. Whenever you call a instance method using a class name, they not pass the object, right? You are the person to pass the object or not, but you not passed. That's the reason here in it missing one required positional argument is like self or not. So you have to pass that self. You have to pass that self. Okay, now there is no error, nothing. As a normal instance method, if you call by using a class name, you are the person to pass the parameters. But here you call what? Using class name or using an object? Whenever you call by using an object, internally they only pass what? Your object or not? Internally they only pass your object or not? So they passed your object by default. It is equals to what? It is equals to, you call the superclass constructor by passing your object or not. Where is my object? Myself only the object, right? So that self internally they are going to pass. Understood? Up to it, okay, everyone? Okay, now you can go with the A, you can take like a N1 10. You can go with the B, you can inherit the member N1 equals to 10. Now, okay, N1 equals to 100. Okay, now I'm going to create an object for, okay, syntactically valid or not? Syntactically valid. Okay, indentation is missing, syntactically valid or not? Now I'm going to create an object for which class? Okay, B class, for example. If I create an object for the B class, okay, obj.n1, okay, I want 100 value and 10 value also. Now what is the value? obj.n1, obj.n1. Okay, as per method resolution order, this is like a n1. Now my requirement is like, okay, this n1 value also I require, this value also I want to print it. Whenever you create an object, whenever you create an object, this n1 value also I want to print it. Create an object, then what you have to do? Come on, if you want n1 also, then how we can, this value also I want.
Using superclass.
Using super, right? Whenever you use like a super, okay, super dot n1, then the term obviously it is pointing to what? Obviously it is pointing to what? My super class member or not? Super class member or not? Another one is like what? Okay, a dot n1, a dot n1, it is like a static variable, right? If it is like a static variable, then that time you can call by using what? Class name you can call it or not? It is like a static variable or instance variable. Static variables we can call by using object as well as by using class name also. Okay, if it is like a class name, a dot n1 also, if you want to use, you can use it or not. Yes or no? Okay, let's think. Okay, I have a method. Okay, how we can write it? Df f1 is the method. Okay, now here I'm going to write like a self. Here I'm going to write like a self. Okay, print, okay, self dot n1. What's my answer? Print
100.
self dot n1. What is my answer? Obj dot f1. Okay, whenever you call instance method, you can write like this or not. Yes or no? If I write like this, a dot n1, a dot n1, what is answer?
10.
A dot n1, what is answer? My 100 comma 10 or not? Okay, for example, if I write like this, first of all, it is valid syntax or invalid syntax? It is like valid syntax or invalid syntax?
Valid.
Okay, now if I call like this, now you can call what? Superclass variable or not? Yes, no? Here the super is pointing to what? B only, but B, okay, pointing to B object only. It is pointing to superclass members or not? Yes or no? Self B only, super B only. Both are like pointing to B only, but self is represents what? Come on, self is represents what? Can anyone? Self is represents what? Come on, self
sir.
is represents own object, right? Super is represents self is represents own class members. Super is represents what? Object is same only. Super is represents to super class members or not? That's the reason self dot n1 is what? 100. Super of n1 is like what? 10 or not? Object is like same only, but this guy is pointing to one member and the same object only pointing to what? Parent class members or not? Understood? Agreed or not? Okay, can I write like this? Print self comma super. Can I create an object? Can I call this one? Can I call this one? Now what happened? Now this is also B object and this one also B object only or not? Objects are same only, but this guy is pointing to super class members and this guy is pointing to own class members or not? Agreed? All are okay? Any questions, anyone? Okay, now onwards, super is there means, okay, just you can say like a to call the parent class members. To call the parent class members, you can say like that. You can remember like that. Any questions, anyone? Anyone have any questions? Okay, we'll see remaining things in the next session. Next session is on Monday. I will upload all this stuff. Just you can practice. If you have any questions, just you can drop a mail. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining.